Hey there, sports fans. It's that time of year for us to be able to enter into March Madness, the time where we get to watch our favorite teams in the National Championship Basketball Tournament. There are 64 teams vying for this prestigious title, but there's also a reward for those of us who aren't playing on the team. Warren Buffett this year has decided to put up $1 billion for filling out a perfect bracket. That is madness. Or is it? Warren Buffett has a net worth that is more than 65 countries' annual GDP. So the $1 billion isn't much to him. But is he really taking a risk in putting up $1 billion? Because when we envision filling out our brackets, this is what we envision. We envision a perfect bracket, all of our teams just winding up exactly where they should be. Of course, at the end of the tournament, this is what our brackets usually look like. They're a big mess with a bunch of X's through all the teams that did not win. So, back to the point. Why would Warren Buffett, a brilliant person, the sage of Omaha, make such a risk in putting up $1 billion for a perfect bracket? Let's take a look at all the possible outcomes that could occur during a tournament like this. When you are in a 4-team tournament, there are 8 possible outcomes, or 2 to the third power. When there are 64 teams, there are over 9 quintillion different outcomes, or we find this out by taking 2 to the 63rd power. If we actually look at this number, that's what it looks like. Or if we want to put it in scientific notation, we could write it as 9.223 times 10 to the 18th. But how big is 9 quintillion? Let's ask this question. If you were to fill out a bracket every single second and attempt to complete all possible outcomes, it would take you A, 3 months, B, 3 years, C, 30 years, or D, you would not live long enough. Think about it for a second. Think about it. Your answer is D. There are 31,536,000 seconds in any given year, except year, of course. In scientific notation, we would write that number as 3.1536 times 10 to the 7th. We would take our original outcomes, 9.223 times 10 to the 18th. We would divide it by 3.1536 times 10 to the 7th. And we would get the following number of 292,459,411,500 years. Now, we found that by either taking our 9.223 times 10 to the 18th and dividing, or we can take it individually, where we take 9.223 divided by 3.1536, and we'll get 2.92. And then we can take our exponents of 18 and 7, since our bases are the same, and we're dividing, we're going to subtract those, and we come out to 2.925 times 10 to the 11th. Are my chances of winning the lottery better than picking a perfect bracket? The probability of winning the Mega Millions, depending on which website you read, is approximately somewhere around 1 in 175 million, or 1.75 times 10 to the 8th. Obviously, your chances are better with the lottery, but how much better? We're going to do our same math, 9.223 times 10 to the 18th divided by 1.75 times 10 to the 8th, and we would win the lottery 52,702,857,140 times before completing the perfect bracket. Was it a decision of madness to put up $1 billion for the perfect bracket? When asked by a reporter about the 9 quintillion possible outcomes, he stated that the number is in the ballpark. Of course, it is a pretty big ballpark. Well, how big of a ballpark? If we look at the Ronaldo Day Stadium in North Korea, it holds 150,000 people. If it sold out every day until the 9 quintillion was reached, it would take over 16 billion years to fill. Yes, Mr. Buffett, that is a big ballpark indeed.